Hello! Today we're making cheese crackers, similar to those fishes and other delicious cheddar cheese crackers you get at the grocery store. But we're making them from scratch so we don't have to leave the house, and it's always better from scratch, right? So how we make this is kind of like a pie dough. So we've got our flour, we've got half a cup of flour in here. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar to that, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then you can add any other spices you want. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. It's going to give it a nice red color that will bring out the orangeness to the cheese, as well as it's got a nice little smoky flavor. But you can use anything you want. If you want to use a little onion powder, that would be good, or a Cajun seasoning, or maybe you want to do like Italian flavor with some basil. That would be really good too. Or just leave it out and just do straight up cheese. Can't go wrong with that. So we're just going to toss together our dry ingredients so they're mixed. Nothing too crazy. And then I have 2 tablespoons of cold butter, which I have cut into little pieces. So we'll put that in there, as well as about 115 grams of cheddar cheese that I grated on the smallest grater I had. So this one, the finest grater you have, as well as 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. And you can switch up the cheeses in this if you like. Obviously cheddar cheese is orange, so it's gonna give it an orange color. I just had marbled cheddar cheese, but it's gonna work. It's gonna be delicious. So for this, we're gonna just blend it by rubbing together, and we don't want this to take too long, but we wanna break up any of those butter chunks and get everything mixed into the flour so it looks grainy, kind of like sand texture. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna squish together. We're just kind of pinching and pressing the flour and the butter in together. So I'll keep going with that until there's no too large of butter chunks left in there, and then we'll add our liquid. Awesome, so all of our butter and cheese is mixed into the flour. You can see here it's kind of sandy looking and coarse crumbs. That's perfect. And then we're gonna add a couple tablespoons of cold milk. If you don't have milk, you can also use water. But I've got milk, and why not make it a little richer? So I'm just gonna add probably 1.5 tablespoons-ish to this and see how it goes. And we want it to come together into a dough, but not be super sticky. So it'll kind of depend on your cheese. If you have a really moist cheese, it's not gonna need as much liquids added to it. So something like Parmesan is super dry. This is looking pretty good. So you can test it with your hand. If it presses together, you're looking good. So I'm just gonna dump this on the counter and knead it into a little ball. And then we're gonna saran wrap it and put it in the fridge for at least an hour, just so it relaxes a little, and then we'll be able to roll it out and cut out our crackers. Look how orange and cheesy it looks already. It smells really cheesy too. Perfect. Yeah, so that was only about like 1.5 tablespoons of milk. Grab those little extra bits. Squish this guy out. I'm gonna be rolling it into kind of a rectangle, so I'm gonna chill it in the fridge in a rectangle shape just to make our lives easier. Awesome, we'll get that chilling and we'll be back. Awesome, so our dough has rested for half an hour in the fridge, so it's relaxed a little, it's nice and cool, and we're gonna roll it out on a nicely floured surface. I'm just gonna flour both sides of the dough as well. And then we wanna roll this out to probably a little less than 1/8 of an inch, and just keep rolling until you get the size you want. And then I'm gonna cut mine using a pizza cutter into little squares, but you can really cut any shape you want, or if you have a little tiny cookie cutter you wanna use, that would be cute too. Okay. That looks pretty good. Amazing. So I'm just going to use my cookie cutter and trim the edges first, just so you have clean lines. If you have one of those zigzaggy cookie cutters, that would be really cute too. Awesome. So then I'm just going to do little strips one way and then cut them the other way. So I've got these all cut. I'm going to transfer them onto a parchment lined baking tray, and I have my oven preheating at 350. And then I'm going to press together all of these little random edge bits that we have and just cut them out and put them onto our tray as well. You just want to make sure you leave a little bit of room in between. They shouldn't expand that much, but better safe than sorry. So I'm going to get working on that, and then we're going to get them ready for the oven. All right, so we got all of our cheesy crackers on here, just spaced out however you want on there. And then if you want to add some spices, you can sprinkle some spices on top. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt from my little Bulldog salt shaker. You can also use like a coarse salt if you've got it. Perfect. So this is going to go into a 350-degree oven till golden brown. I'm not sure exactly, probably 10-15 minutes, but you want to make sure that they can slide around on your tray and they smell cheesy. So I'm going to get those in the oven. Amazing. So my house smells like cheese right now, and it smells so good. And our cheese crackers are all baked. They took about 14 minutes. But I'm not gonna lie, I was impatient and my oven wasn't fully heated up yet. So I would definitely check them after 10 and see. But you want them to be starting to turn golden brown at the bottom there. This one's a little bit darker, it was on the edge there. And then you can see inside they're super flaky and full of cheese. It tastes like you're eating that crispy cheese part from when you make grilled cheese. It's so good. Well, these guys just need to cool at room temperature, and then you can keep them in a Tupperware container or a Ziploc bag. That's if you don't eat them all in one sitting, which I probably am gonna do. Awesome, well, have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you're out there enjoying this beautiful weather we have.